Hey, today we're going to talk about something different. It's called 11 pain points that could be slowing down your practice growth. All right, here we go with 11 pain points that could be slowing down your practice growth. Number one, and these are not in any particular order, they're just things that randomly I thought were important to tell you about. And so the first one's just about confirms. And it's a pain point for most practices. You have staff that you've hired to get on the phones and confirm people, and you've got computer systems now that send out texts automatically at a certain time and emails and so on. And yet you have patients who don't show up for their appointments. Like, where's that at? What's that about? Your staff do their very best to be very good at confirming patients. They really do. But when you hear a patient phone in saying, well, I'm not really sure I can keep the appointment, and the staff roll over and die on it, and they go, hey, when would you like to reschedule for? No problem. This is standard in all practices. So what can you do about that? You want to get with them and sit down and go, okay, what kind of excuses do the patients give you? And, help them work out, what's the handling for that? What's the handling for that? Because most attempted cancellations can actually be handled. I have a whole webinar I do on this because I'm very, very big on patients keeping their appointments once made. It's important. And sometimes their life seems to impinge on them, that something else is more important than, doing well as far as their health goes. So anyway, that is definitely a pain point that you do need to work on. Also, you should have a cancellation fee. And a lot of people hate even hearing the word. Most everybody has one, they just don't use it. And so this is important because if you have a cancellation fee and you've put in a whole program, let every patient know as they go through the practice, and mark it in the computer that they have been told that there is actually a cancellation fee and how much it is, and what the policy is, that if they don't give notice with 48 business hours notice, then they would be charged that fee. Now, most people will willingly pay those because they know that they did what they did, canceled, or didn't show up, or showed up late, or canceled at the last minute. So they don't argue with you about the payment. Some will occasionally, and you can have your staff say, oh my gosh, let me check in the computer. You know what? You've never done this before, and it says I can give one free pass, so free pass day, but I can only do it once, so warning. And give them cancel the cancellation fee. So you made them happy by canceling it, but they've also know that you're not going to do that again. Okay, good. That was pain point number one. Pain point number two is how to handle upset patients. Sometimes patients get quite snarky in the reception area, I've heard and actually witnessed one or two times. Get a little loud and a little upset about something. They didn't like the procedure. They didn't like what they were told. They didn't like having to pay money, whatever. And the problem is the staff kind of get scared and they don't quite know what to do. And they try and calm the person down, which if there's other people waiting, that just makes them dramatize more and louder. So there's a whole handling that you can train them on where they say, oh my gosh, I'm very sorry about this. Can we go sit down somewhere and talk about this so I can understand fully what the problem is? And let's work out a solution together. Okay. And guide them gently to this other space, whether it's the lunchroom, if you don't have a consult room, or an office where you can take them in privately. But get them away from reception where they're more likely to dramatize more loudly because they've got an audience. So, and you do want to actually find out what it is. And you do actually want to handle it. So it's going to be more easily handled in private than it will be in public. Pain point number three, cracks in the practice. I like to call it cracks because there's like little crannies in your whole system of scheduling patients. Their insurance company requires that you submit something for pre-authorization before you go ahead and do that particular procedure. And this is for almost any profession, has that limitation if you take insurances. And so you submit it and you never hear back from them again, but you don't notice, the staff don't notice that you didn't because they forgot all about it. They're so busy with other patients coming and going, they actually forget to check. Hey, we never heard back from the insurance company. And unless the patient phones in and says, hey, did you ever hear? They're forgotten. So that's a crack. That's quite a common crack, actually. In fact, it's a good way to fill your practice back up again if you have a little downtime happening, is look for all those ones that you submitted something and didn't get them back in. Another one is poor coordination in the team where, the staff, I thought she was doing it. She thought she was doing it. And nobody was doing it. And so things get lost, messages get lost, it's resulting from not enough systems and structure in the practice where everybody writes down messages or has a way of communicating one with the other so you have good coordination. Number 4 pain point is being overbooked. Now this one is interesting because sometimes you get really happy when you're fully booked out 2 to 3 weeks. Like that's like ideal scene, no holes, no gaps, but that's not actually a desirable thing because you need to have spots in the morning and the afternoon, very short ones for emergencies where you can do a little triage. It's not enough time to put a new patient in, however, and that's where you lose patients. When you're overbooked too far out, no new patient wants to wait that long to have their first appointment with you. So this is frustrating to them. It's frustrating to you. And so you need to start thinking about when should I start planning for an associate and actually causatively leave a nice blank for a new patient exam at least twice a week, right? And don't let it fill up with other things till like the day before. Okay, that way if somebody phones in, they need to see you right away and they're a brand new patient, you can see them. Okay. Number 5 pain point is treatment presentations. Have you ever noticed patients don't always go ahead with your brilliant suggestions of how you can help them the best? You want to give them ideal care, and instead they're going, well, I don't know, I have to think about it. It's a lot of money. It's this, it's that. I don't have time, blah, blah, blah. And so that one, all I can say is we have some things to help you with in terms of sales training. So, because otherwise it's totally frustrating. Number 6 pain point, quality control. Do you know every big business has a quality control department? And this is actually very important, and most practices don't have one. So, somebody makes a mistake on the phone and you overhear it and you think, oh, damn. And you let it go because you're busy, you're running to the next patient. And so that person never gets corrected. And there needs to be a system worked out how you can actually pick up on errors and get them corrected. So your staff are always being enhanced and getting better and better. It can be somebody in the practice who's more senior, who's been there a long time and knows all the answers, being the one who listens and helps and trains. But whatever it is, when something goes wrong, like you get a patient complained or something, you want to correct he who did it or her who did it. Number 7 pain point is no cancellation policy at all. We talked about that already in another section. So you must get one in and getting it used, because your penalty for not having one is lost income. When you have a gap in your day and there's no money coming in during that gap, that's your penalty. So I just want to make a point there that you need to consider this important. Number 8 pain point, you lost your love for your practice. It's doctor fatigue or practice owner fatigue. Staff are off sick and wanting raises, and the bank is raising the interest amount on your loans, and the cost of supplies are escalating, and finding and hiring good staff is so hard, and it's all too much. So what you need to do is make a list of your pain points for yourself, one by one. Take the easiest one and work out how you're going to get it under control. Because if you get all those things back under control, you will love your practice again. I just talked to somebody who's a past client with us, and she took on some additional duties of being the president of the professional association. And she basically got overwhelmed by some heavy duty duties she didn't know she was going to have. She's now on top of them, and it's like talking to a different person. She She took each thing and she fixed that, and then she fixed that, and then she fixed that. And now she's like going, okay, now I'm ready and I love my practice again. So this is what you want. Number 9, pain point, understaffed. You pay a lot of money to drive new patients in, right? You spend money on marketing and social media and that sort of thing. And they phone in, but your staff you're understaffed at the front sometimes. And the person who is there does not have time to spend time talking to this person and turning them into an actual new patient. Shoppers are not always ready to make an appointment. Sometimes they need to be, talked to for a little bit and a friendship built and that sort of thing in order to get them into your practice. So if you find well, I'll give you a hint. There's a magazine in Canada for dentists called Oral Health, and they hired an outside company to do a survey. And they found out that, this is for dentists, but I'm sure it's true for others, that they get an average of 15 shopper calls per week coming into the practice. It was all done through taping and recording incoming calls. And only 5 a week got signed up as new patients. So whatever those other 10 would have spent over the next year of your business is how much money you lost each week. So every week, if you lose 10 potential new patients, that's a lot of money. For dentists, it's $2,000 per patient if they have insurances. So, because that's about what somebody spends for a year in dentistry with an insurance policy. So you go $2,000 times 10 people, that's $20,000 every week that you're losing because your staff don't have the right amount of time to handle it. It could also be that they're not trained on it, because we do a lot of training in that regard as well, on how to get staff able to handle a shopper and turn them into a new patient. So don't waste money on marketing. Fix that problem. Number 10, pain point, no management time. Gosh, every executive in the world has management time, but you guys, you're the healthcare professionals, so you have to make time though, because you're also the practice owner, the top exec. So you need to have some time to plan the growth of your practice. So you need to set aside maybe an hour a week, and you shut your door, and or you could put a sign, management time, do not disturb, and you do your planning there. You look at your stats, you look at where you're going, you look at what's the next thing that you're trying to accomplish, and you work out the next steps on that, how you're going to do it and who you're going to delegate it to, etc. It really is important. And then the last one is no management training. This is the last pain point, number 11. But it's a very important one, and that's why we exist as a company, is because no management training underlies all of those pain points. If you were fully trained by us, you wouldn't be having any of those points, because that's what we help you handle. So, we do everything from executive training, how to be a boss, a good leader, give direction to your staff, how to correct them when they make mistakes, how to train them in the first place. Did you know even hiring staff that have been trained by another practice doesn't mean they're trained for your practice? Everybody has their own individual ways of doing things, and maybe the last place they worked was not well run, and you've hired that person and she brings those habits. So you always need to be retraining and training your staff and being a really good trained person yourself. So, whether it's sales, learning how to manage by statistics, so you know what's causing what to happen in your practice. Maybe it is a matter of people skills. You need to help your staff with people skills and yourself. So we have a lot of help for you. We have consulting. We have small courses for you to do that change your whole way of doing practice into a better way. So those are your 11 pain points. If you want some help to erase them, give us a call. Thanks for listening.